Ooh, that was scary. Okay, welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. So I want to talk to you guys about why I stopped taking acting classes. Alright, it wasn't because I didn't think that I had a snowball's chance in hell of becoming an actor. 9 times out of 10, we all have a snowball's chance in hell of becoming an actor. The hardest part of becoming an actor is actually getting discovered and getting your foot through the door, and actually not so much as proving that you can act, but proving that you are sellable, which I clearly must not be sellable, or I don't have the look that everybody's looking for. But I'm multicultural, so there's not a lot of rules for me to begin with because we don't have people who are mixed writing scripts. Alright? And so without people like me writing the stories, there aren't going to be many roles for me. Alright? So that's why with Kung Fu Havoc 2, I wanted to start my own conglomerate of having a mixed hero who's part Native American, part black, or if need be, part Chinese and part black, and if need be, part white and part black. As you notice, I keep bringing back the black part of me because a lot of people don't think that I'm black. But here's the facts. I am part Cherokee, I am part black, and I am part white. Now, there are not a whole lot of movies about guys like me, and if there are any movies about most mixed characters, they're generally given to The Rock. Alright? No, I am not at war with The Rock. I love The Rock. The Rock, if you hear this, how about you give me a job, dude? I can be Pebbles. I'm just kidding. That's his daughter's name. I can be like Mini Rock. I'm only a year younger than The Rock, so therefore, that was all just a joke. I actually like The Rock. If I actually knew The Rock, if The Rock wanted to start a movie company in Virginia, I'm definitely down. If he wants to start one in Miami and fly me down there, I'm definitely down. Anyway, we're leaving The Rock alone for the moment. So, I started off in college in like 1996 or 97. So I started taking acting classes. But my college curriculum classes required stuff that I, 9 times out of 10, aren't really going to use. And here's my thing, if I ever get famous enough, because I'm not giving up, but I want to push colleges to teach actors how to act, how to handle rejection, the things you actually are going to need, how to play a character and play that character well, how to audition and audition well. Because my acting courses didn't involve none of that shit. I had to retake math. I had to retake science. I had to pick a foreign language in which I failed in because I'm not Mexican, and the Spanish teacher from Spain thought I was Mexican. She did not think I was black, so there's that. But I had to learn stuff that I learned in high school instead of learning what I need to learn to actually become an actor. Right? Now, if you're going to be an actor, you need to learn how to
change your voice on the dime, be able to talk 619, and all the other stuff that comes with it.
But acting isn't always about delivering a great line. You have to be able to make your audience feel that line. So when you're selling that line, you have to be taught how to sell that line. You know, if you're selling a punch, like in wrestling, if you're punching me and the camera angle doesn't catch it, so the camera angle catches my back shoulder and this, and your side is this. So, you know, you need to teach me how to work cameras. You need to teach me how production works. You need to teach me how hard it is to do an audition when you are unprepared. Like me, last Saturday I had an audition. I didn't get a call back. It was from International Arts, and I didn't get an email. But they gave me the script because when I went there, I didn't know it was an audition. That was like check one against me right there. I thought it was just a casting call. And you know, casting calls work differently from auditions. Which, if the school that I was going to, which I'm still going to, would have been preparing me for that part of the acting thing, I might have actually had a better success when the studio that came to Petersburg with that promise of Hollywood East, which they never delivered. So, when you go into an audition, it doesn't hurt to have a few monologues in here. It doesn't hurt to have a monologue right here. It doesn't hurt to know what you're actually auditioning for when you go in there. So let's say they're doing Shakespeare. A good play from Shakespeare. Let's say they're doing Julius Caesar's. It doesn't hurt to actually know what your acting range is. Okay? Now, Ryan Reynolds makes fun of range, like at the end of Deadpool when he says, when you have Karen Knightley, she has range, but whoever it is or whatever it is, we're going to have cable in it. So, you have to be able to know what your range is. Alright, me, I'm a martial artist. I've always been a martial artist. I was a street fighter before that. I'm a martial artist now and forever. And I know the parts that I probably can play. Action hero, sidekick, innocent guy at the bar who just happens to walk into a fist. It just depends on what the story is going to do. You have to know what's going to drive the story. Acting classes in college didn't seem to teach us that. Now, my acting teachers, they did teach us how to improv. They did teach us how to do plays. They also made me sing Under the Sea. I think some people are probably still recovering from that coma, but they teach me. But the curriculum, I only had like maybe 2 acting classes that I actually needed, where other things like learning Spanish, I didn't get a choice in that. I wanted Japanese, and they didn't want to teach Japanese, and there wasn't enough students signing up for Japanese, and Japanese would be easier for me because I know karate, and some of the instructors who were white spoke in Japanese and Korean. So I would have been easier to get that. I would have been able to pick it up because it's something that I love to do. Versus, I'm sitting in here, no habla español muy bien, and the lady thinks I'm also a Mexican, and that's not working for me. Alright, because one, I'm not Mexican. And granted, Mexicans are also Native American, biologically and classified and chronologically, because all Native Americans came out of Asia 20,000 years before the Europeans discovered America, and then we splintered off. Some splintered off so back that they went all the way back into Upper Siberia, because they went all the way literally around the world. No need for your history lesson. The point being is that she thought I was Mexican, and she even pointed that out in class because she called me out on it. She goes, James, I don't understand why you can't speak Spanish. You're Mexican. And then I called her out on her racist incorrection, and I said, first off, ma'am, you need some culture. I am not a Mexican. I am of Native American, black, and white descent. Now, that was before I knew Native Americans were Asian. I just, was just going with the fact that I thought we were from Atlantis. So, that was that right there. So, I called her out. At the time, I also didn't know Mexicans were Native Americans. So, thank God for my friend who's the son of a preacher who corrected me like the year after that. Anyway, shouts out to him, Mr. Kim. Anyway, so I had to go through this. And this is something I've gone through a lot because no one believes that I'm black. I'm multicultural, so another story. Anyway, so I learned I had to relearn things that I'm never going to use. I'm only going to use math to count my money so that I don't get ripped off. I'm never going to use Spanish because I don't plan on making any Spanish kung fu flicks. I only plan on doing them in English. And if I have to go to China, they speak English in Hong Kong and Shanghai, which is probably where I'm going to be filming anyway. Yeah, there you go. And also, if they're going to make me speak a Chinese language or Japanese language, they'll probably give me something simple like cantaloupe and watermelon, and then have some Chinese guy or somebody of Asian ethnicity to come in and talk for me. Kind of like they did that Flash Gordon thing for the guy who actually played Flash Gordon. Well, I can't remember your name right now. Sam Jones. So Sam Jones, his actual voice is not actually in the Flash Gordon movie. It was dubbed over by some other guy. Don't ask. He even said that last year at the GalaxyCon. Yeah, this GalaxyCon, the one I went to last year, dressed up as this guy. And this year coming up, I'm going to be this guy for half a day, and this guy where my improvement parts come in. Okay, moving on. So here's what you really need to know about acting. It is one of the greatest jobs in the world if you can actually get your foot in the door, and if you can get discovered, and if you can continue to work for the better part of your life, then it is great. If not, and you're like me, you're a 20-year journey into this business, because I started at 27, I'm 47, so I've been at this for 20 years. Been on many casting calls. I handle rejection very well, thank you. But the deal is, when you go into casting calls, they don't teach you what you need to know about casting calls. So let me start with rule number 1. when they give you a casting call, under no circumstances do you not show up. But what you do is, one, you should probably have your portfolio ready. All right? I didn't know nothing about portfolios. And everyone I've been to, it was almost pointless for me to take a portfolio. So let me explain that really quickly. 9 times out of 10, when you come there, and now that they have cell phones, you probably don't even need a bloody portfolio now. But when I started this biz 20 years ago, I didn't know nothing about portfolios. No one in the class taught me. My acting teachers didn't teach me. James, you need headshots. You need body shots. You need to be dressed cool. You need to be dressed sophisticated. Hold on. Sophisticated. You need to be dressed sophisticated. Just like an old man. You need to be able to be well-rounded, just like in martial arts. Alright? You need to be able to have your monologue on the fly. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Been fucked up if a burst of lightning came through and struck me right about there, right? That'd have been awesome. And there's also voiceovers. But 9 times out of 10, when you go to these casting calls, this is what the radio says. Come one, come all. Ages 4 to 54 or beyond. 4 to 94. Let's go there. Yes, because some actors don't get their start until they're like 94 years old. We're not going to be working that long. We're going to be getting this done long before that happens. So, you go in there, and it does pay to know what you want. So here's what the casting calls also say. We're looking for actors, dancers, comedians, singers. Know your strengths. Alright. Can I sing? Not really. I can try. But I don't want everybody in the room to die. So, they also tell you should probably lie and say that you can sing. The truth is going to come out as soon as you open up your mouth. Yeah, they're going to tell you you're not what we're looking for. Alright. So, know your weakness. I know that I can't sing very well. But I sung in a church choir as a kid. So, I also got caught, acting like I could sing in the church choir as a kid. So, I know I can act. That much I know. The problem is, I have to prove it to all of you. The other problem is, I actually have to have someone who has their foot in the door who decides, we're going to sign that guy and we're going to give him a job. We're going to make him have maybe just one line. Let's see how he goes from there. How well his delivery system is. Because if his delivery system works and we have him with a pretty girl and he can't get distracted by her beauty and their chemistry is awesome, we got potential. James has potential. James just doesn't know how to get his foot through the right door. Alright? Now, you get there, and again, I've been on these casting calls, and trust me when I tell you, it would have helped to know portfolio and my strengths. Mostly your portfolio, you have to get a new one every 3 years. Alright? Just because most people age every 5 years, so I would advise you to get a portfolio every 3 years. But when you go get your picture taken, you want to make sure that you go. I'm not saying for dudes to clean your face, like shave your beard and shit. Because if that's your look, that's your look. But I'm saying is make sure that you don't go in there with I got a blemish right there. So, you don't want to go in there with that. You don't want to take your picture with blemishes. You want no acne, that unless you're going for an acne product that you're selling like Proactive or something like that, then you may get that job if you have rosacea or whatever it's called when you have really bad acne. Hell, not only will you might get the job, they might give you a free supply of that shit. But the acting casting calls don't give you specifics. They don't give you specifics on how high you have to be or how pretty you have to be. They don't give you that ability. They pretty much look you over and then they either give you the SpongeBob card or, like me, so many times, I've gotten the finger. Yeah, that one. The middle one. I'm not going to be nice in this video. But I've gotten this quite a few times. Hold on. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a learning experience. Because I'm going to tell you 2 other stories that involve casting calls where I've made grave mistakes. Mistakes that I will never make again. And mistakes that you should be aware of so that you don't make these bloody mistakes. So, 2 times they came here to make movies. And both of those times, I really didn't want to be an actor. I really wanted to be a cop. So I just tried out, and luckily, I didn't get those parts. Unluckily, I made the same mistake twice. So the first time they came here, they were making toy soldiers, and they were going to film some at Crozet at Miller School, and they were going to film the rest in Richmond. And all I had to do was go to the site, and I got to the site, and it's like, hey, you want to be an actor? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll be an extra. It's like, yeah, cool. Here's what I need from you. And this was my first mistake. I need you to go get a haircut. Go shave your head bald. And then come right back and you'll have the job. Now, he made a verbal agreement with me. But a verbal agreement is like a fart in the wind. He doesn't have to acknowledge that shit after you shave all your hair off, your nice curly hair, and, I was growing it for a different style, and instead I wanted this role, so I shaved all my damn hair off. Which, by the way, if anybody's watching, that is not negotiable. My hair is not going anywhere. Never again. Anyway, so I shaved all my hair. I drove all the way the hell back, and you're not needed. Actually, I think that was like the second time, because that was for Major Pain, a movie that I haven't seen since that happened, because a guy I knew in growing up was like a fucking career criminal and a bully in school, and he got in the damn movie. And I almost got to fighting with an actual actor there. Someone who had already made it. He was a child star. I don't know where he is now, and I don't care. But he's lucky that my cousin was there to keep me from rearranging his face. That being said, you should also go to all these things with an open mind and no attitude and no temper. Now, the other one was the first one, which was Toy Soldiers, which was also in Crozet. And that one was another one where they said, if you shave your head, we'll give you the job. And by the time I got back, the job was refilled by somebody else. So both times, didn't get anything from there. So I just started going to these casting calls. And I've always had really short hair until I had my ponytail. And by the time I had my ponytail, I decided that I wasn't going to go to these things anymore. Not this ponytail. I had a longer ponytail. And I was just focusing on working at my restaurant job. It was like 20, 25, somewhere in there. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to just focus on what I want to do. I'm going to become a cop. I'm going to get a homicide. I'm going to do everything I need to do. Study the law. And I would just go to these things for fun after that. And turning fun started becoming more of my passion for, really wanting to do this. But I really wanted to be a cop. But I really wanted to do these things. But I really want to be a cop. But I really want to do... And anyway, so I went to these casting calls. And every time I got there, if you get this card, whether it be a Joker's card or a SpongeBob card, whatever they had there, if they gave it to you, you got to stay. If they didn't, you didn't. And the good news is that they had one at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they had another one at 7. So, if you were slick, you can go back, you can get your portfolio, and you can be set to go. Which, of course, my dumb ass, really wanting to be an actor, would do this. And it's like, didn't we see you at 1? And I said, yeah, you did. And it's like, so why would you come back? I said, because I really want to do this, and determination beats procrastination. Supposedly. That hasn't worked in 20 years, so clearly it's not working now. So I was determined. I'm still determined. So I go back, and they started telling me, it's like, all right, look, there's a reason why you're not what we're looking for. And it's like, but you guys don't even know if I can act. And then the guy goes, well, honestly, if you fit what we're looking for, you will know it, because we won't let you leave without some kind of contract for you to sign. And so the only way that we can let you leave without a contract is if you're under 18. I said, well, dude, I'm well past 21. I don't need nobody to make a decision for me. I just need a job. Yeah, I just need a chance. And I never got the chance. Even 20 years into this, I haven't got the chance. No one's given me remotely close. But also, no one has told me the truth about these cattle calls until one day I went to my last one, not counting last weekend on Friday the 13th. So last weekend on Friday the 13th was the very last one that I'm probably ever going to go to. And I'm going to look into doing more video auditions. So I'm going to look into how to do that. But before that, about maybe 9 years ago, because I've been out of the Army for going on 10 years. I went in at 2010. I got out in 2010 because I got hurt. So, okay, maybe 10 or 11 years ago was the last one I went to. Before this Saturday that just passed. Before this Friday that just passed, because it was Friday 13th. So I went to this thing, and I went to the Army. And I actually didn't even go for me. I went with Jay Diz because Jay Diz actually dragged me there. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to keep going to these things, man. I don't know, but there's some list that I'm just not on. He's like, you've been saying that forever. There's no list, man. You just might not have the look that they're looking for. I said, how many times you think I done cut my hair for these people only to be mad as hell the next morning when I'm still sitting in Charlottesville because I can't catch a break? And by this time, me and Jay Diz had made like 3 or 4 movies because we were making movies for me, and then the opportunity came for him to get on Made It. So we made a movie called A Clone Affair, which came out way before Gemini Man. I don't know what Jay Diz did with his copy, but I fought my clone, he fought his clone, and then we fought each other's clones, and I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but we made some movies, and Bruce Johnson was rolling the thing, and we put the fire effect in, and all this other stuff, and I learned a few things, I learned a few tricks, so we were doing that. We were making movies, we just weren't making movies that you guys have seen. And I also had Kung Fu Havoc 1, which is another reason why I started my YouTube channel in the first place, because I wanted to get noticed. And I didn't know about Facebook and Instagram and MySpace back then. I only knew about YouTube. So I had a YouTube channel, but I didn't have a MySpace, I didn't have an Instagram, I didn't have a Facebook. So now I do have all of those. I think I have a Snapchat. I think I have a TikTok. No, I do have a TikTok. JW Greywolf 616. Anyway, so when we get to the Army, talking to this dude, because Josh is really trying to push his music versus that, but they weren't looking for musicians on this round. They were only looking for comedians, actors, and models. Well, I'm only 5'3.5", so that modeling thing, that wasn't going to happen, because I've been told all my career that you had to be 5'7" and up if you were a man and you wanted to be a model, or if you were a woman you had to be 5'8" and up. And I was like, well, damn, I lose out either way on that shit because I'm just short as fuck. So when we get there, the guy's talking to us after the whole clusterfuck's over, where they took maybe, out of the 100 people that were in there, they took maybe 7 people. And neither one of us was that. But the guy was interested in Jay Diz, so Jay Diz was talking to him, and he started talking to me. And I was like, look, I'm just here with him. He's like, well, you came here for acting, right? I said, yeah, but again, I'm not what you're looking for. He said, you're right, because you're not on the list. I don't even know what your race is, dude. I was like, what? He's like, I said, I'm black. He's like, no, you're not black. At least not all the way black. I said, yeah, I'm actually part Native American and white too, but biologically, my birth certificate says I'm black. And he said, and herein lies the problem. We have a list. I said, a lot of y'all don't understand this stuff, and this came right from one of those guys' mouths. He said, what you guys don't understand is that when we have an open casting call, we have a list of maybe 25 descriptions. So that's why we keep having these things, because we have a list of 25 descriptions of what someone is looking for one of their movies. The good news for Josh is that if they ever need a black guy or a comedian, they got him. And if they ever come back and he decides to continue with that, he can get that job. The bad news for me is I don't look black enough, so I can't do it. This is what the guy told me to my face, and Josh was standing beside me. He said, if you really want to do this, you got to get in the theater. Now remember, if you missed the first 5 minutes of this video, I told you that the acting classes that I was taking at school taught me how to improv, taught me how to act, and also insisted that I sing under the sea. What they didn't teach me was, when it comes to casting call, how to handle rejection, know your limits, and know what you can and can't do before you go make an ass of yourself and not be able to get the job at all. Because you don't want to tell them you can sing if you know damn well you can't. Alright? I sing worse than a box of rocks in a frog's throat. I won't say that I can't carry a tune. I think that everybody has a song or a few that they can sing. Rather, you can hold a pitch is what decides if you actually can sing. If you guys watch some of my videos, you can decide if I can hold a pitch or not. If your ears aren't bleeding, I've done well. If your ears are bleeding, well, sorry for you. Anyway, so he's got to talking about this list. And he's like, all right, look, honestly, James, you're not a bad looking dude, man. You're very, very handsome. I'm not gay, but you're a very handsome man. Me and all the women back there, we were all talking, but the problem is really simple. You're too short, and we weren't really looking for actors. We were looking for singers and comedians. We weren't looking for dancers. The dancers that we picked actually wanted to be something else that we were looking for, and we're going to take them. That old dude that we were looking for, we're going to take him and see what he wants to do, and he fits the bill that we're looking for. He fits that shit to the letter. So if you don't fit this list, you're not on it. And then he broke it down to me. He's like, all right, look, if you were a Chinese man with braids, you would have been on the list. If you were a Chinese girl with braids, and I'm not talking like hanging down braids, I'm talking like cornrows, you'd have been on the list. And I was like, dude, my hair is exceptionally short and curly right now. You couldn't get a cornrow in this bitch if you wanted to. It's like, exactly. But if we had been looking for someone who was mixed, who was either Native American or Mexican, and you had like blonde streaks in your hair, we could work with you. Because you could pass for a Mexican, and we can dye your hair blonde if you're willing to do that. But that's not on the list. As for Jay Diz, if we were looking for rappers and comedians, you'd have took him. But we weren't looking for rappers or comedians. Comedians weren't on the list. But we did like his jokes. No. So it went on like that. In school, didn't teach me none of that. School didn't teach me how to handle rejection. I had to learn that shit in all the trips I went to these casting calls. And the school basically taught me, all right, so let's do Shakespeare. You're going to do Julius Caesar. Do you want the role, the lead, or do you want a supporting role? Because I'm not really good at theater, the first thing I decided to my acting teacher, I told him, I'll take the supporting role. And I said, and if I can take a role less than the supporting role, I'll take that. And he goes, why do you want to do that? I said, well, I prefer TV to theater. And we went into a question and answer about this, like, why TV to theater? I said, because theater, you actually have to be able to act. TV, no matter how many times I screw it up, those magical guys in the editing room are going to fix it. And it's not going to roll on that screen until it's fixed. So no matter how many times I screw up, beware of the Ides of March. Beware of the Ides of March.
Beware of the Ides of March.
They're going to fix that. Out here, live TV, on cable, I got a fighting chance. Out here, in an audience full of people that's sitting in New York, like Carnegie Hall, I can't fuck this up. You know? But James, the guy before you right now, knows that I'm totally going to fuck this up. So if I'm playing the cripple guy in Julius Caesar who warned Caesar, I can't fuck that up. Because I only have to say the same thing 3 times. Beware of the Ides of March. Beware of the Ides of March. Beware of the Ides of March. I can't fuck that up. A retarded person, no offense, couldn't fuck that up. On their worst day, a person who's blind and retarded with an earpiece that is told action, beware the Ides of March, couldn't fuck that up because it's 3 lines. Now if I chose something like Puck from A Midsummer Night's Dream, who has one hellaciously long monologue that ends with what fools these mortals be, there's no way in hell I could get through it with a straight face. If I can even remember the monologue. And secondly, it's supposed to be with Tatalia, who, if you read A Midsummer Night's Dream, she spends the bulk of her thing butt-ass naked. No. And I'm Puck. I'm the gesture. I'm supposed to be funny. There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to look at a hot, sexy chick butt-ass naked and remember my goddamn monologue because I'm a boob man. And if I'm staring at her boobs, if the monologue isn't written on her boobs for me to read it like a teleprompter, it's not going to happen. I'm going to have wood. Let's just keep it real. I'm going to have wood because I'm straight. You know, if I see boobs on a chick and she's pretty here all the way down, and I'm supposed to talk to her about how, see, thinking about it's just messing me up, how foolish these mortals be, and I'm supposed to remember that. That would probably be the only part that I would get right because it's the last part of the monologue. I don't remember how it begins. I don't remember the middle. And I have to talk to a woman who's going to be butt-ass naked, who's queen of the elves or queen of the gods or whatever the hell she's supposed to be, the wife of Oberon. And I'm Oberon's little bitch and the trickster. And I gotta remember this long-ass monologue after she turns some dude into a donkey-looking dude. A dude she's cheating on. Actually, Oberon turns him into a donkey. And I'm supposed to pop up and say something, and it's very long, and then at the end, what fools these mortals be. And you think a dude like me is going to remember that while staring at boobs? That shit ain't going to happen. Now, if she's got the monologue written on her chest, and I can get past nipplage, then I'll probably be able to read it. And as long as my back's to the audience, they'll never know if I'm screwing up or not. But she'll know. I'll know. And more importantly, my twig and berries will know because I will probably be excited. So no, that's not going to work for me. Know your strengths. Yeah, when you go to these casting calls, know your strengths. If you think that you're only going to be good at a supporting role, by all means, take that supporting role. If you're going to be the support role, that's a smaller role, take that role. Don't overreach because I know for a fact I can play an action star because I'm going to get the coolest one-liners. I can play the bad guy because I'm going to get the coolest one-liners. And they're not going to be that difficult to remember. Versus if I'm a dramatic hero and I have to lead the film is resting on me. And all the other actors, the co-stars, have to make my cell better than their cell. Because I'm the star. So they have to make me look better than I actually am. And this is how this business works. And this is what they don't prepare you for because you're sitting in a class learning math. When you should be sitting in a class learning how to know your cues. So your co-star says, let's use this corn pops because that's the one I did. Where are my corn pops? And here's your co-star. You know they're in the cabinet. And now your inability to reach them because you're short. I gotta have my pops. But they're so high. How can I get my pops? Here's your co-star. This is pops for adults, by the way. Yo, dumbass. Use the stool. I've got to have my pops. Get the stool and get the pops, you know. But, yeah, when I did it for them, I kind of did it more like I had paper because I don't retain very well. Where are my corn pops? We are out of my Kellogg's corn pops. I can't believe you ate them all. How could you? I said stay calm there. All that crunch, all that sweet popcorn, I want them. And I can't have them. Ugh. I gotta have my pops. Yeah, add a little dramatic flair in there. You know, you gotta know your range. That totally sucked. Because I had the paper. Let's try it without it. Where are my corn pops? I've got to have my corn pops. I can't believe you ate them. All that crunch. That sweet popcorn. I gotta have my corn pops. Ugh. Now totally, I screwed up somewhere. But I know it, and the show must go on. Which is what the acting teachers did teach you, that when you screw up, you must keep going on. Which is why I also said I couldn't be a stage actor because I'm going to screw up. And though you'll be performing this thing every night until your contract is up, somewhere along the line, my dumb ass will totally screw that up. But luckily, I learned improvising. And I did play Peter Fawcett once for the Charlottesville Museum. I got good reviews. In fact, I got so many good reviews that they never asked my ass back. I'll explain that in a minute. So, we're going to read it now. Where are my corn pops? We are all out of my corn pops, my Kellogg's corn pops. See, yeah, that's where I messed up at. I can't believe you ate them all. I left off, how could you? It says stay calm, so I have to bring it down. You know, you got to deep breath after the how could you. And then all that crunch. All that sweet popcorn. I want them and I can't have them. Urgh. Gotta have my pops. So as you see, when I read it, you can go back and watch this video and see where I screwed up versus where I read it. So, sadly, having a bad memory is not a good thing for actors, but a lot of us have that problem, which is why when you watch blooper reels at the end of movies, you'll understand that they're only human and they screw up lines too, which the acting teacher had pointed out. You know, you could do theater if you really tried, but the problem is you're too scared you're going to frack this up. And I was like, I'm not scared that I'm going to frack this up. I know I'm going to frack this up. Where if I'm on TV, no matter how many times I frack it up or my co-star frack it up, this thing's being recorded. So someone's going to find me where I don't frack it up. And that line that I don't frack up, my co-worker may have fracked it up. So what they're going to do is they're going to mesh those two lines together so they would look perfect. And 9 times out of 10, because of when I make films, we film the same scene at least 4 times. But generally, we kind of film it 2 because we have 4 cameras. And we get them from different angles. And if the angle, I look good on this side, but I look horrible over here, but the audio sounds better over here than over here, we mush that shit up. So you have to respect the people who edit films. Now, the thing is, you know, when you go to these classes, you know, they teach you damn near everything that you want to know, you know. But they don't teach you everything that you should know as well. And like I said, you know, you have to know that rejection is a big part of this business. It is a big, big part of this business. And you have to be able to deal with that. And some of us can't. If you can't handle rejection well, then acting is probably not for you. But you also can't give up. And I'm the never say die mix guy. I don't believe in giving up on anything at all, ever. And that's probably like my biggest weakness, is that I don't know how to give up, or I refuse to give up. And that could also count as a big strength. I guess it just depends on who you're dealing with at that moment. But the school curriculum should be teaching us how to do the thing that we want to do. So I want to be Fred Astaire. Do 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 do. Now you get Jerry Mouse right here, and we start tap dancing and shit. You know, teaches that. How rich can you get? You're never gonna know till you've met. Rich young boy, Richie Rich is his name. His bank account is as rich as his name. That's Rich. Richie Rich. Or my favorite. Wait, right there. You're gonna love this. You're gonna totally love this. I got to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. Pokemon, I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, it's you and me. I know it's my destiny, Pokemon. You're my best friend in a world we must defend. Gotta catch 'em all. My heart's so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon? Sorry, Pikachu. Maybe we should have got Alf. Anyway, the bottom line is that classes should be rather, to teach you what you need, how to deal with rejection, how to understand your range of acting. If you are going to be an actor and you only get one line, so, what the hell was it that Vernon used to say? Because what's up, Vern? Wasn't even Vern. What the hell was this guy's name? Ernest or something. He always used to. He had like plenty of movies. He died not too long ago. He had one-liners that he always used in all of his movies. And like for action movies like Van Damme, it was always "Trust Me." With Arnold Schwarzenegger, it was "I'll be back." I forgot what the heck it was for Sylvester Stallone. And Bruce Willis will always be known for "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker." So you have to be able to understand your range. There are actors, aka John Malkovich, and there are superstars, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. And not that John Malkovich isn't an action star. He's gone toe to toe with Clint Eastwood. So, therefore, you're an actor who can make you an action star. And there are action stars that can make you an action star. In wrestling, they call that jobs. Alright, those would be those wrestlers that pop up out of nowhere. They're a flash in the pan and then they're gone. They're no longer in that big company. As of now, I think it's like Leon Ruff is like getting his role at the Dice in WWE at NXT. He's now the North American champion thanks to losing to Johnny Gargano, and thanks to I can't think of the big guy's name. He's like Samoan. What the hell is his name? It just happened Tuesday because he slapped both of them and then he attacked both of them in the ring. So they're building up his career. That's why he has the title. It's his time. And then he'll get big and he'll either leave or he'll go to another company, or what'll happen is like the same thing with Keith Lee. When Keith Lee became North American champion, they built him up, they hyped him up, and then they sent his ass to Raw. Same thing with the NXT or the EST of NXT, and she went to Raw, and then she's on SmackDown. So you get the gist, all right? And I'd be happy doing that. But in acting, it's the same way. If I'm going head-to-head with John Malkovich, no matter how much I fuck it up, John Malkovich will make me look like a star because he is crafted in his shit, okay? And a lot of actors that come through these acting schools, we don't get taught what we need, especially the hard part. The hard part is getting noticed. The hard part is dealing with rejection. The hard part is hearing, "You're not what we're looking for." And that in itself is the hard part. So many actors, they go through so much stuff. I was watching an actor in Veronica's Closet. That's the name of a show, and he had made it. I mean, he made it, and they were going to get a second season, but somehow or another, God rest his soul, he committed suicide because the stress of being successful, he couldn't handle it, and so he committed suicide. And success takes its toll. Shannon Doherty's gone through her shit. River Phoenix committed suicide. Johnny Depp has gone through his shit. And the actors are normal people. They just have the best jobs on earth. So I want a piece of that pie, but I still haven't been able to get my foot in the door. And in my Kung Fu Havoc 1 channel, I did a video of I should be a VR trooper, or I should be a Power Ranger. Because those are actings that I know I could do, and it's not going to be that difficult because it's a kid's show, so I don't have to worry about saying anything sexual. I don't have to worry about saying anything offensive. I don't have to say anything that's going to be racist. They're not going to have something that is immoral on that show, and those are the shows that I would like to do because they're good for kids, they teach moral lessons, and they don't teach you racism, and they more or less based on right or wrong stuff, And there was a Heavenly channel that did the same kind of thing, but it wasn't Power Rangers, and they had to dumb down the violence and all kinds of other stuff, Those are the kind of shows that I would like to do. They also cater to children. I'd also love to work for Disney or Fox or Sony and wear one of these damn suits and get paid for it, But the thing is, when you go for auditions, you need your head on straight. You also need to know what they are auditioning for. With these guys, Friday 13th, last Friday, I didn't know it was an audition. I just thought it was a casting thing. It came up on Instagram, and I just signed right up for it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Well, I didn't get an email, so I wasn't invited to whatever they had on Sunday. And if I did get an email, I didn't find it. So to them, first, thank you. And also, I'm sorry because I didn't find it on the email. So I just assumed it. I'm not the guy, and I haven't seen anything else. And I will have to check my email again tomorrow before I go to work. The point being made is that if you're going to an audition or a casting call, you need to be taught how to receive and achieve your goal of getting the job. I wasn't taught that. In the acting classes, I was taught how to act and how to improv, but I wasn't taught in all the other courses of what should have been on the curriculum, but clearly was not. If I'm going to play Captain Kurt, I want to be able to play Captain Kurt. Here's an example. Scotty, what do we have in front of us? There's like an impenetrable dome. Oh, Captain, I've scanned it, and I scanned it, and I scanned it, but the scans can't go through. I do not know what's on the other side, Captain. Thank you, Scotty. Spock, you and Bones go that way. I'm going to go this way. Captain, Starfleet protocol says, I am the captain. I do not care about Starfleet's protocol. And what Starfleet doesn't know can't hurt us. Live long and prosper, motherfucker. And keep on walking. Of course, Captain Kurt's not going to call anybody a motherfucker. But, you have to know your range. And so when you're going to an audition, you may get the starring role and have no range. However, this is why it's called movies. Because movie magic and editing is the best thing ever. Anything that you screw up, they can fix. Because you'll have to do that line and that scene over and over. Okay, James is over the X. Rewind. Okay, James is too far behind the X. James, you need to step up one step. Too big. Too small. Baby step. There you go. They need to teach you how to know your cues. How many beats do you take before you say your line? So you have a beautiful girl. She's before you. She's on her knees and she's begging you for help. But what she doesn't know is that you're the bad guy. And she's crawling up to you. She's hurt. She's been beaten. She's been ravaged. She's been broken. And she crawls to you and says, Sir, they're killing my family. Save them, please. And she's not going to die. Or at least she doesn't know she's going to die. You're the evil soldier. This is your axe. Save them. I'm here to slay them. Off with her head. Let's go finish them off. And now you go in there and you slay her family. You need to know your range. You need to know the part you're acquiring. You need to know everything that you're going to be doing on set, day one. So I propose this to all you schools so I can end this video. If you're going to do acting, let's do acting. Let's teach us the ins and outs of playing roles. Let's teach us how many beats do I need to take. And by beats, I'm like taking breaths, okay? In case you guys don't understand what that means. So let's say she did that. She's crawled to you. She's hurt. And she delivers her line, and it's almost perfect. For you to deliver an excellent performance, you need to know exactly when to start your line. Like if she stops and she takes a small breath, and you should be on your line by the time she exhales. Or if she takes 2 small breaths, or 3, or 1 long breath. Because she's hurt, so she's probably only going to be able to take 1 long breath. You're going to make sure it's her last breath. So she goes, save them. Please. I'm not here to save them. I'm here to slaughter them. Off with her head. And if you know anything about improving is where you act and you're like, everything's coming off the top of your head. Like what they do with the chick from The Talk, the black chick, Aisha Taylor. That versus, you have to know where you stand. You have to know what your part is. Why is the time on this thing not working? Oh, I'm late taking out the dogs. Anyway, you have to know all of this stuff. I'll make a part 2 to this after I take out the dogs. Thanks for watching. It's Cove Epic number 2, BC and you.